software engineering, biology, and mathematics. And it starts at 2024, and you can see we are around the second column there, and it goes till 2030. So basically, what we're saying is that for all three of these domains, software engineering, biology, and maths, starting with software engineering, we will saturate the benchmarks. And the benchmarks basically tests that humans have come up with to test if the AI model is able to do something at a very high level of expertise. And saturating benchmark means that we humans are no longer, let's say, fully capable of judging how well this thing works because it's already working at our level or higher than our level. So clearly what we're saying here is that over the next couple of years, even before we reach 2030, in all of these three different fields, we are saturating the benchmark, which means that AI models will be able to write most of code in the case of software engineering, if not all of it. In the case of biology, it will be able to do most of the research to understand what's going on. In the case of maths, it will be able to do proofs. So when you look at data like this, it is obvious that you might have the question, so what will all the humans be doing, right? Will the AIs just be doing all of these things? So a cautious prediction that I would like to make is that yes, AI agents will be doing most of the knowledge work. And by knowledge work, we mean any work in which humans are sitting down, applying their reasoning, their thinking. It includes computer programming. It includes most of our science and professional fields. But I'm also saying that human roles will be shifting towards judgment, creativity, and interrelationships between different fields. And what this means is that if you look at some of these things, yes, AI will be able to, let's say, do genetic research or do drug search to identify right kind of medicines for certain things. But somebody has to decide what the AI should do. The AI does not have an internal drive of its own that I'm going to go out there and do these things. Similarly for software engineering. Today we have AI that can write really nice software programs. If a human instructs it, gives it a proper specification, the impetus of what needs to be done still needs to come from a human. What this means is that there will be massive displacement and massive opportunity at the same time. Displacement because it's going to change existing systems. It will change existing jobs. Many jobs that exist today will be obsolete. But there's also massive opportunity because new jobs will exist that we cannot even name yet. One of the jobs that we hear more and more often these days, especially in the startup world, is something called a prompt engineer. It didn't exist a few years ago, and I don't think it will exist a few years from now. But at least for now, there is something called a prompt engineer, which is mainly somebody whose job it is to talk to AI in different ways and make it do things in a better way. So I think the right question is not, will AI take my job? But what can I do with AI that I cannot do today? And this is a very personal question. It's what can I do with AI that I cannot do today? And that answer will be different for everybody. Even just taking my own personal example, I would say that, so I have a lot of work to do in my day job. I don't have a lot of free time, but once in a while I have certain ideas. Maybe I can make a website for that, or maybe I can make a game or something, right? So in the ideas, I couldn't really act on them because I didn't have the time resources. Even if I knew computer programming, I didn't have the time to actually build these things. But today it's different. I have AI models that I can instruct and do these things on a weekend. In some cases, just over a few hours, and the output of those things are pretty close to what I imagined in my head. And this was just a small, simple example from me, but it holds true for people who are in universities doing their own research. It holds true for people who are working for large companies in industry. There's a lot of things that there are many people who, due to various reasons, don't have the opportunity to study at the best colleges. They don't have the opportunity to work at the best companies when they start off in their careers. But I know people who are very, very talented, right? And in the past, they couldn't really let their talent have its justice just by the talent alone. They needed all these things along with it, right? Or they needed referrals and recommendations and things to get them to places. I think that is changing. That is changing slowly but surely. And today, if you have the talent, if you have the passion, you can do great things. Put them out there, talk about them, write about them, and you will find your tribe. You will find the people who will appreciate this, and opportunities will open up for you. So you can just do things. This is something that I talk about to my team as well. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to wait for the perfect time, because there is no such thing as a perfect time. You can just do things. And this leads me to the concept of the will to act. If you take away any part of this presentation, I would say that this is that you should take away. The will to act is the meta skill that will win the future, according to me at least. And there are different names by which you can call this. Some people call it agency, some people call it initiative, drive, decisiveness. Basically, what it means is that you have the will to say that I'm going to take action and do something. Without that, it doesn't matter how much skill you have, how much experience you have, nothing matters. So, shortcut in terms of how to stay relevant, according to me, you can visualize this pyramid here. This the foundation of pyramid. This is where you learn how to do things, you hone your skills, you become better at what you do. But skill alone does not cut it. On top of it, you need judgment. And I explicitly mentioned judgment and not experience. Judgment and good taste doesn't necessarily come with experience. You might have 35 years of experience, but if your judgment is poor, then it's not really going to help. So let's say that you have skill and you have judgment. So judgment is, you think of it as good taste. You know when you see something whether this is what or this is what not work, and it works in any sphere of work that you do. It could be in the form of art or writing, or it could be a computer program. It could be a design that somebody does for an application. You need to know that, is this good? Is this great? You need to be able to judge that for yourself. But these two things on its own will not do. You need to have the will to act. And this is the one thing that's a unique human advantage in the time of AI, because the AI has skill, and increasingly the AI is pretty good at judgment. The AI can tell that thing is well done or not, but the AI does not have will to act unless somebody asks it to do something. Of course, there are AI agents which program a certain list of if somebody who is young and hungry. I have these 4 pillars here. The first pillar is learn by doing. So we live in a world where the best, most advanced AI models are basically accessible for free for everybody. It's a wonderful thing when you think about it. You might be the richest man in the world. You might be Elon Musk, but you don't have access to an AI model which is much smarter than everybody in this room has access to today, right? So this is a very democratizing force that we have. So we have free tiers for ChatGPT, for Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, which are really, really good. You can do most of the things that the paid versions can do. And for example, Google has this website called Google AI Studio. It is a platform where you can use all of its advanced AI functionality completely for free. So it's fully free. You can use it to prototype, build apps, They have AI keys which you can build AI apps using the latest, most advanced models in the world. So there's nothing stopping you. There's enough tutorials there. There's YouTube videos. You just go there, see how to do it, and you only really learn anything if you try doing it yourself. So learn by doing, and then the next step is building in public. This is, I think, is becoming more important. It's hard to do, especially for some people. It's harder, but you should always try to put what you're bringing out there. So I would say pick a small project, build a V0 version 0, very quickly, document how to use it, and open source it on GitHub. Put it out there for the world. You never know what can happen. So the worst that can happen is that nobody sees it, nobody comments about it. That's the worst that could happen. In some cases, what might happen is your future employers will look at your background, they will see what have you done. They can actually see your public GitHub profile. It'll have the code that you have written, which is proof of work, and that exists. In certain rare positive cases, your open source projects might end up becoming startups. So that's how Netdata, the company that I work for, that's how Netdata was born. Our founder in 2014 built a personal project over his weekends and free time, and he open sourced it on GitHub, right? But when he open sourced it on GitHub alone, nothing really happened because nobody saw it. So that's where the next step in this comes in, which is you need to share your journey. So in the example that I was giving about Netdata, what happened, where the magic happened, was when he posted about this on Reddit. The founder wrote a post on Reddit and said, I have done this, this is how it works. And then he went to sleep and the thing went viral overnight. People started commenting about it, sharing about it online. By the time he woke up, he had like 100 messages on his phone. And then within a few years, we had investors and funding and became a company. So you need to share your journey in whatever way feels comfortable to you. For some people, that might be writing about it. You might write blogs about it, articles about it, research papers about it. For others, it might be, there might be more visual ways of doing this. So you might make YouTube videos or other forms of social videos and share it. And it's important that you do this, that you keep sharing. And then the fourth pillar is asking for feedback and asking for advice. So this is something that almost nobody does. You can find and contact mentors in your field, in any field that you're interested in. These people exist. They're available on LinkedIn, or you can find them on other websites. If you reach out to these people who you look up to for whatever reason, in most cases they will respond to you. But 99.9% of the people never do this. They think about it, but they don't do it. Another example that I would give here is when this is pre-ChatGPT, when OpenAI was launching their early GPT models, I was an enthusiast playing around with these models, and I wanted access because I read all their research papers and everything, and I didn't know how to get access, right? I was in a different country. I had no contact with anybody in OpenAI. So what I did was I just messaged Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI. I didn't expect a response, but then within a few hours, he responded to me, and he reached out to his team and enabled access, right? So it was just that simple. And sometimes we just don't do these things because we think, that person might be too busy. He might not respond. It doesn't matter. The worst thing that will happen is they don't respond to you. That's not that bad. So these are the 4 pillars. And finally, the important thing is that you need to be consistent. The first time you do something, it's almost certain that it's not going to work. But you keep doing it. You rinse, wash, repeat, keeping it again, and again. And you will have, I'm 100% sure. So we talked about what to do. We'll talk a little bit about what not to do as well. So again, I have 4 topics here. So the first one is a pet topic of mine. I've written about this in the past. It's a term that I've coined. It's called thought sourcing. I also call it cognitive atrophy. So this is what happens when you don't think for yourself. And it's not something new. You don't need AI for this. It's been something that's been with us for ages. If you let other people or other organizations think for you, the same thing will happen. Just like how if you don't move your legs, if you don't exercise, and if you just lie on a mattress for a long time, your legs will become weak and you will not be able to stand or use it. The same thing applies to your brain. So if you don't use your brain, if you don't try to think hard, then you will lose the skill to do so slowly. So even if you're going to use AI to help you write something, I would suggest write your own first draft and then work on it afterwards with the AI. And the second thing is something that I've seen a lot in the industry. It's cynicism and pessimism. So I've seen this ruin people who have been very talented, who have been excellent engineers and computer programmers, but over the few years, once they started working, they became cynics. They started blaming the system and really did not fulfill their potential, is what I feel. So there will always be people who will say no, ignore them. Just build what you need to build. Focus on what you can control. Don't focus about all of the things that can go wrong, because there will always be 99 things that can go wrong. And if you think about those things, you will never build anything. And the third point is misinformation at scale. So this is something that we touched upon a little bit earlier. With the scale at which AI is growing, there will be an explosion. There already is an explosion in the amount of misinformation out there. So always verify before you share something. Cross-check with multiple sources. Don't just believe what you read, what you see. You might see a video where somebody famous is telling something. It doesn't mean that that's true. And never assume that something's true just because a lot of people are sharing it. And finally, speed of change and volatility. So this field is moving really fast. There are new models that are being released every few weeks, entire new technologies that are being launched every few months. So don't worry about it. Don't fret that I'm I'm not keeping up with what's the latest. It doesn't matter. Just bet on the fundamentals. Make sure that you're strong on your fundamentals and then be consistent with what you're doing. And you should also plan for obsolescence. You should not be disheartened if what you're working on today is obsolete or completely automated away next year. That's just the way the world is going to be. Just pick up the next thing and keep building. And finally, I think you should protect your attention like it's the most valuable asset that you have, because it is. And there's a lot of things out there that are trying to grab your attention. It's becoming harder and harder. There are apps and platforms that are designed to just grab your attention and keep you occupied. So protect it at all costs. So just to wrap up, here are the key takeaways from my talk. Proof of work is more important than credentials. You can just do things. The will to act is the most important skill to have. You should build, create, have fun, because if you're not having fun, then you're not going to be consistently doing it anyway. Don't thought source. Don't let somebody else, don't let an AI think for you. Don't be